Welcome back. So we were talking about the joint stock companies. Um, by 1600, uh, Eng- England had a number of these trading companies, these joint stock companies, operating from as far as Moscow to India. Okay, um, the joint stock company financed the expansion of the English Empire. Okay, so it's not the king, it's not the crown that's taking the risk. The crown grants um, decrees that these companies can exist. Partners own stock in these joint stock companies, and so they spread out the risk that's going to be involved if the colony, like Roanoke, for example, if it were to fail. Okay, not everybody loses uh, the whole. Not one person or the king loses the full amount of what's ventured. Um, so risk is spread out, but at the same time, it's still risky, and it's not the king or the crown that's taking all the risk here. Uh, like I said, the whole idea is for a kingdom to found colonies. These colonies should have gold. Remember gold, God, and glory? Well, uh, all the kingdoms, all the nations, Spain, Portugal, France, Holland, England, they're all looking for the same thing. They're all looking for gold. Okay? We said that the Spanish found gold, the real thing, but the French found something that was a nice substitute, the fur trade. What are the English going to find? Well, where are they exploring? They're going um, into North America, and they're hugging the coast. They're not venturing far enough in. They're not going to find the gold, the metallic species. But certainly, they're going to find abundant riches in the areas that run all the way from Canada all the way down to the southern part of what is the Atlantic coast today. Okay, with mercantilism, it's supposed to be a favorable balance of trade um, that um, that the mother country will export more than they import. Okay, that the colonies are there to provide raw materials, and the they will trade then with mother exclusively. The English colonies will trade exclusively with England um, to get finished products. And so, and what can also be said about England at this time, there's a couple of things going on here. And again, I'm going to get to the Protestant Reformation because that's a big factor. But at the moment, in the late 1500s, early 1600s, England is they're a constant war with France and other European countries. There's rampant disease and plagues. There is an overpopulation of Englishmen, women, and children, and it's looking like there's a possibility of solving problems by taking a look at North America. Okay, um, what's to motivate the English? Well, like I said, getting out of England. Okay, a lot of people thought that it might be a great idea to get away from England. The overpopulation, the plagues, the disease, uh, and to find some level of freedom. Now, think of this: most Englishmen would never dream of owning land. Okay, if you, it's still the same way today. If you own land, you have wealth and you have power. Okay, no land, no wealth, no power. Remember going back, all the way back to the Middle Ages and the feudal lord. How did he have power over the peasants? he owned the land. Um, a new world, a dream of getting out of England, or even in general getting out of Europe. Uh, that dream could be fulfilled. Okay, and there was this idea that if it's called headright, okay, headright, and um, if you um, signed up to be someone that was going to venture forth across the Atlantic Ocean, if you were willing to be a colonist uh, in these various joint stock company colonies, um, the possibility existed that you could get here, work for the joint stock company, and you would earn a headright. Okay, you would earn a 50-acre tract of land. You could earn for yourself through your risk, taking on the journey, 2-3 month journey, and risking that part of it, and then landing, and then trying to make a life and working. If you did that, you would earn a headright, meaning that you could be what you could not be in England. Someone that has freedom and also is going to make some wealth for himself, and obviously for the betterment of England as well. The idea, and we'll certainly talk more about this when we talk about Plymouth and the Plymouth colony in 1620. That's going to be up in what we still refer to as New England, in Massachusetts. Okay, but again, just in general, why did the English come? First of all, they come to east coast of North America. Why did they come there? Because it's directly across from the British Isles. Okay, they don't venture too far, like I said, inland. They some of them will try their luck going as far as the Appalachian Mountains, but they're basically staying close to the Atlantic Ocean. What could be other reasons besides venturing forth and being if you will, a person of fortune, seeking fortune? The gold, God, and glory thing. Well, that exists for Englishmen as well. The actual gold. England's looking for gold. They're not going to find it in gold bullion, gold bars, I should say, or gold metal. They're going to find it in the natural resources of North America. And they will make some glory for themselves, possibly with a headright, to gain land. That's personal fame, that's personal glory, along with the riches of the natural resources from North America. Where does God come in? Not to a great extent in Jamestown. Okay, they're there for the golden glory, but it's again later on. We're going to find that there are Englishmen, English women, who are seeking freedom from the religion of England, and looking to practice their own form of Christianity outside the persecution of the British Crown, the English Crown, excuse me. And we'll talk, like I said, we'll talk more about that when we talk about religious persecution, Protestant Reformation, and the like. Another thing is that There was a lot of again, we talked about England, a lot of poverty and disease, plagues, a lot of crime, um, a lot of disorder. Okay, this is not a very happy time to be an Englishman, a woman, and therefore people are looking for another way. Um, if you were poor and you could not pay your debts, you were poor and you could not pay your debts back then, and up until not too long ago, the founding of the United States, the United States of America is going to be different than Europe. If you were a debtor, if you were in debt, if you owed money, you were going to become a criminal, and you were going to be punished like a criminal. You would be thrown in prison, and prison was not what we have today. And prison's no joke today in America. Incarceration does come with certain constitutional rights. Back then, you didn't pay your debts. You were put on trial. You were thrown in prison, and there you were to basically remain. Okay, makes perfect sense, right? You owe money. You can't pay your debts. Then sit in prison. So there's a third group besides the seekers of fortune and the religiously persecuted. There's going to be a third group, a large group of people who are debtors, okay, who are what we call indentured. It has nothing to do with teeth or going to the dentist. Indentured. 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 Okay. I'm going to be working to see if I can get some kind of small whiteboard behind me instead of you looking at all this, my all my little tchotchkes in the background here. But I'm going to see if I can get a whiteboard with a marker, and I can put some notes up here. But in the meantime, indentured, I spelled it out. I'll spell it again. And by the way, all these videos come closed captioned, so use that as well. And people are literally almost rotting in prison because they can't pay their debts. And in the meantime, what happens to their families? It's a downward spiral. Okay, it's perpetual poverty. You can't climb out of it. But there is an out. There is a third. There's another way, and that third group of indentured servants, of men and women who are in debt to someone else, they could find a home in a colony in North America and work off their debts and possibly end their servitude and actually come out the other end working hard and earning some land, and therefore climb out of poverty, climb out of the spiral of poverty. All right, I'm going to pause here for a moment, and I'll be back.